I'm here in Glasgow with Kenyan Sevens rugby coach Mike Friday, ahead of the Glasgow Sevens tournament this weekend. And Mike, I wanted to start by asking you, why did you start playing Sevens rugby as opposed to 15s?
I made England A, but unfortunately for me, I was born the same year as Kieran Bracken, Matt Dawson and Austin Healey. And sometimes you've got to take it on the chin. They were better players than me. Unfortunately, I couldn't force my way past those three to get in the full England team. But my skills and my abilities were suited in terms of as a running scrum half to the Sevens game. And those kind of key components allowed me to kind of take an ascendancy in the shortened Sevens game. And within England, and the way that the setup and the strategy set up in England Sevens and England 15s, it gave me an opportunity to get on the world stage as a player. And then as, Sevens grew and has continued to grow around the world, on the coaching capacity as well.
Now, Kenya is still very much a developing country. So as coach of the Sevens team, does your job require you to live there full time?
Well, I've got an apartment here. Yeah, we do have an apartment here. I live with Chris Brown, our strength and conditioner. But I don't live here full time. The nature and the way that we've put in place the Kenya Sevens program is on a season plan, whereby that we're on a kind of 6-week cycles. And the way the cycles work, because we're very heavily focused on strength and conditioning, is there's a 2-week intense strength and conditioning block that Chris Brown will run alongside core skill development, which is put in place by me, but executed by the assistant coach, who's Kenyan-born Felix Ochieng, who I'm mentoring as part of this process. The boys then have a week's rest, and then I come in for a 10-day camp, whereby then it's highly intensive on the technical and the tactical side of the game of Kenya Sevens and rugby. We then fly off for 2 weeks for the tournaments. The boys then need to rest for a week, and then we start the cycle again. So, my blocks in the country are between kind of 7 and 10 days.
Rumour has it you're in a very tight ship with the Kenyan side, and discipline is a very important aspect of your style of coaching. Is that true?
So the reality is it's a top-down and a down-up approach, and you meet in the middle, because the reality for any successful sporting environment, you need player empowerment and player buy-in, because they're the commodity, they're the assets, they're the prized possessions of the country that will enable us to be successful. So you have to cherish them, but you have to give them direction and focus to allow them to maximise their potential, both psychologically, mentally, physically, tactically and technically. And you can help educate that with your training, your coaching. But also you've got to allow them the freedom to find their own way and explore themselves in order to get the right decisions. Because if you're in that learning environment, which they are, then if you work things out for yourself, then more often than not, it stays with you. And that whole process of allowing them to have a continuous environment and a constant environment where there's no or minimal outside distractions is part of my role. So, part of a father figure in order to shield them from it, but also to allow them the opportunity to maximise their potential.